I'll tell you better that. China. Japanese. Sorry. Next to me. Oh.
Oh, mia giovana, che te papaetta con tu lei, che te paretta pure tu lei, te dirà, te taputei, te leo, te pago.
Ko wehi atu, te kaiti a kia o. Ngā me I aroha, ngā roi mata aroha. A puti ono, tātai ho.
Nā, tā tōngi tīkia tōnang, ene chero popo hendia namalolia. Yāra ya, ene ata tēnte, yore kore kiandu, YouTube, mikse kutu whakuru shikui. Oh, yeah. Your Holiness, you are very welcome.
Your Holiness, it is my privilege to welcome you here, and it is the Mayor's privilege to thank you after you have spoken. She is accustomed to making longer speeches than I am, and she likes to have the last word. We are pleased to welcome you to this cathedral. It is a building much loved by the people of ChristChurch, and in more ways than one, it lies at the heart of the city. So it is a good place in which to welcome you. What we extend to you is a welcome from the heart. We welcome you too as a peacemaker. We welcome you as a peacemaker, not only on behalf of your own Tibetan people, but on behalf of people everywhere who seek justice and reconciliation. Your message of a non-violent path to peace speaks very strongly to our own history here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, especially in our efforts to honour the Treaty of Waitangi. Prophets in the same non-violent tradition that you represent have echoed your words here for generations. Tamihana Te Raupraha in the 1840s, whose carved figure watches over us from the high altar behind me. Te Whiti Orongamai of Parihaka, and the Kaitahu prophet Hipa Te Maiharoa in the 1870s. Your words reinforce and honour their witness to non-violence. And on the eve of an election to a form of government we have never tried in this country, everyone here is a little nervous about our ability as New Zealanders to negotiate peacefully and work together. In a new political system ahead of us, we need all the help and advice we can get. so your visit is well timed. And I was pleased to see that on the day you arrived, we saw the most peaceful television debate between our party leaders than I can ever remember. Perhaps you have been doing more work here than we know about. We also welcome you as a spiritual leader. And I am pleased to do that not only in the name of the Cathedral Chapter and the leader of the Anglican Diocese of Christchurch, Bishop David Coles, and the Pihopa of Tiwai Punamu, Bishop John Gray, and the Roman Catholic Bishop, John Caneen, the Methodist Superintendent, John Bilverston, the Presbyterian Moderator of Christchurch, Hamish Galloway, Baptist Minister Ken McCormick, representing churches of the inner city, and the General Secretary of the Conference of Churches in Aotearoa, New Zealand, Jan Cormack. The conference is our major ecumenical body, linking us worldwide with all who work for Christian unity and mutual respect and dialogue between all living faiths. Now, I personally cannot speak for such a range of leaders, for we Christians have yet to find a common voice in this land, despite our best efforts this century. And so we hope for better things in the next. And we need to find better ways. Respecting the diversity within our different churches will need to be matched by respect for the diversity of people of other living faiths. And we have little experience and little confidence in such interfaith dialogue in New Zealand. And our media are unaccustomed to interpreting such conversations. So, it is easy for us to muddle up what is happening in a meeting like this, and to see it as interfaith worship when in fact it is a civic welcome and a celebration of kindness. My hope is that one day, in places like this, we can talk more frankly about the spiritual ties that bind us and divide us as people of faith. But until then, we can still celebrate kindness and mutual respect and commitment to peace and justice and non-violence. That is why we are here, and that is more than enough to be going on with. In the spirit of starting with the things that we share rather than the things that separate us. In that spirit, we found as we prepared for this welcome that in our music, more than in our words, there was much that we could share with you. And so as you entered the cathedral, the choir sang, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem and for the peace of all places everywhere that inspire and nourish our spirituality and our shared humanity." And as you leave the cathedral, the choir will sing to you again, this time a call for us to dwell together in unity. And as I now invite you to come forward and speak to us, and later to answer our questions, the choir sings the simplest and the most universal of all our hopes. God, be in my head and in my understanding. God, be in my heart and the heart of this place and this community gathered here and in my thinking. Your Holiness, you are welcome here.
Today, any chaga, because that's the Jidaba, Dinaralia, any chero pomo, Mongolim Doria, that was fire chumbati, Shakabuchung, and those Kosnam, the Christishu.
I'm extremely happy to be here in this beautiful cathedral and to have this opportunity of speaking to you, my brothers and sisters, and I thank you for the warm welcome.
And I'm going to see the Tongi the Jidere and the Tokunaba Samalogi, the Monarangi, Semgaba, Top, Shusham, the Debatone, Gosnabati, and I start in good some dash of Shajon to Shishu.
And I'm also very moved and touched by the warm welcome accorded to me by Mayor Buck and Reverend Dean John Bluck.
Engama at the Tashi level, that the tiny village and Arachi, Sosuji, that Guye, the Sosu Kimjila, Love and Narji Shayunto.
And as this is my second visit, to me, today I have a feeling as if I've returned to some place where I've been before and with which I'm acquainted and have a sentimental attachment to.
Now that part, more or less, the formality side. now my is the usual informal, I think straightforward, spontaneous is a talk. Please forgive me, this is my poor English, and also is getting older. My broken, even that broken English also getting older. So it's sometimes difficult to express my real feeling. So I would like to apologize. That is so is a poor is a broken English. Now here in the cathedral, people from, I think, different religious traditions all come together, and at the moment, I think all the differences, I think, not in your mind. I think all people's mind, I think, some kind of fresh, some kind of, how to say, open, warm feeling. I think that is something very essential. So there are a lot of diversities, different professions, different religions, even different races. It's a different culture. But if we go deeper, then all of us, the family, a member of same human family. I think the mental level, emotional level, we are same experience. And by innate way, innately, everyone want happiness, do not want suffering. And everyone have the right to overcome suffering. And I can say, I think the purpose of very existence of our life is satisfaction or happiness. So, where the diversities, there are also something which bind them together. So because of the diversity, each one have special, I think, unique features, and also, I think, unique ability or quality. And despite different sort of unique thing, because of the something which bind them together, so it's a common effort, it's a common experience, also possible. I often making example like our hand, 5 fingers. You see, each one, not only the size, but also, I think, the different ability. In order to make some, in order to push something, this finger have more ability than this. But if you want to do something here, this finger is much more ability than this. So you see the diversity. At the same time, with one palm, you see, if each, you see, as a ability, unique things, very useful. Meantime, all, see, can work together, can work together. So similarly, in the field of religions, in the field of faiths, yes, there are a lot of different faiths. I'm speaking mainly those major world religions, such as Christianity, Muslim, Judaism, different Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, so on. These are major religions of our world. Now, all these world major religions, I think in the past, the millions of people got great inspiration, benefit from these world major religions. And even today, and also in future, no doubt, these religious traditions will help, will serve, will benefit, will be beneficial to the millions of people. Human being. So we have these two things, body, physical, and emotion or mind. So the pains as well as happiness, in both fields, there are two kinds. Physical, mainly physical comfort and mental comfort, and physical pain, mental pain. Therefore, the material development, material facilities, of course, very important. But there is limitation. The material facilities give us mainly physical comfort. Then through physical comfort, some kind of mental satisfactions develop. But then the mental satisfaction through such as practice of compassion, practice deep meditation, practice devotion, faith. These is mental satisfaction or mental tranquility, calmness. These compare with the another kind of satisfaction which mainly come through physical comfort. If we make comparison, the other one, the mental so the peace or mental health satisfaction is much more stronger. So therefore, it is quite clear the material facility, of the material facility, there is limitation. It is not enough. If we expect all human problem can solve by money, by material facility, I think that's wrong. And also, you see, if we expect answer for our life come from outside, that also wrong. Ultimate answer, I feel, must find within ourselves. As a human being, some form of problem or trouble or painful experience bound to happen. Obviously, illness, old age, death. We cannot avoid these things. When these things happen, the money alone or your own friends alone cannot solve, cannot help much. If you have inner certain quality, then at that moment, only the inner strength or inner quality can help you. And also, you see, look around ourselves. There are a lot of problems. Many problems are actually man-made problems. These man-made problems, I do not think, when you see those individual or as well as a group of people who initially, create these sources of this problem. At that moment, they may not have negative intention or motivation, but due to lack of understand or lack of awareness, and I think lack of compassion, lack of, I think, wider perspective, often they ultimately bring more disaster. So therefore, the many problems are essentially our own creation. So that also very clear. That also one example. Unless something, unless some change within ourselves, unless some good inner quality there, the problems ceaselessly come. So under such circumstances, we need the various different kind of spiritual traditions. If different religious traditions really only causing more problem rather than benefit, then I think we humanity should have right to abandon all religions, all religious traditions. But that's not the case. So therefore, the various different religious traditions still, I think, very much relevant. Now, it is also fact, in the name of religions, more divisions among humanity, and even within one family, due to different religious faith, divisions happen. And I think worst thing, in the name of different religions, sometimes bloodshed, war, community to community, such as Bosnia's event, and also in Africa and some other places. So therefore, one way, various different spirituals as a tradition still relevant. And meantime, and also you see these different religious traditions also sometimes are causing for trouble. So option is maintain these different religious traditions and try to minimize conflict in the name of religion. Now the genuine harmony on the basis of mutual respect, mutual understanding. Now that is the method, that's the way, you see, to overcome these, how to say, conflict or these negative, how to say, attitude. So, so the effort to promote mutual understanding among the different religious traditions is very, very essential. I'm very, very glad to say nowadays in many parts of the world and many religious leaders really now I think you see, they have clear sort of realization or awareness now importance of harmony. One example, I think 86, perhaps I think most probably 86, the RCC meeting took place. There are many heads of different religious traditions come together. And this is some kind of a silent meditation also to take place. So these are, I think, this symbol. And I think the many religious as a circle, the idea or the spirit of pluralisms, pluralisms now is coming. I think that's a very healthy sign. In ancient time, at the time, not much contact with other community of other religious follower. At that time, this is just one truth, one religion, one God. Is it that kind of tradition or that kind of way of thinking is very suitable, very good, no problem. Now look, I think India. Many centuries, the religious tolerance, remained there. Many centuries ago, religious tolerance, idea of religious tolerance, ahimsa, developed and remained so many centuries because the reality, that vast country, there are so many different religious traditions. Not only those religious traditions which grow, which develop in their own country, but also like the Zoroastrian of the Parsi tradition, and also see Judaism, and also the Muslim, and later Christians. These, you see, they religious tradition which come outside India. Also, you see, they take deep-rooted. So because of that reality, in India, in the past, sometimes there is some conflict, you see, take place. But basically, generally speaking, I think the idea of the pluralism among the spiritual tradition, they are. So now today, whole world, now the period or time of information. You see, the various, you see, the information of different religious traditions now become very, very available. So under such circumstances, I think they because of that reality, they I think narrow sort of narrow-mindedness, or I don't know what a proper word, I don't know. You see, I think the concept of just one religion, I think that will go. Now here, I usually say, I'm saying, telling my audience, you see, according to my own little experience, generally speaking, you see, 4 methods, 4 ways, right? 4 ways to improve harmony. 1, meeting with scholars from different traditions, theologians, and discuss what differences, what similarities. Then second, meeting with genuine practitioners from different traditions. Exchange their deeper spiritual experiences. For me, that is very powerful. My own case, after meeting with late Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk from America, and also quite a number of occasions in the European continent, in Austria, in France, and Germany, in Italy, quite often, you say, have meeting with individual monks or nuns who really, you see, they devoted according to their own tradition, and as a result, some kind of the marvelous sort of experience have. So once we discuss, meeting with them, exchange our experiences, then you really get the awareness, the value, or the effectiveness of that tradition. So then, you see, it automatically develops appreciation of the other tradition and respect. So, you see, this is one method. Then third, as a group of people from different religious traditions, go as together, go as a pilgrimage, go on pilgrimage to different holy places of different religious traditions. Again, here is my own experience in Europe and also the Jerusalem I visited, not as a tourist, but rather as a pilgrim. And my own experience when I reach these places, although I am Buddhist, for the Buddhist practice, these holy places of other religious traditions is not much relevant. But as a spiritual believer or practitioner, when you say, and with open-minded, and when I go these places, I get some kind of vibration. So this very helpful to develop deeper understanding about other religious traditions. This is third. So you see, they go together, if possible, pray together. If not, silent meditation. That also is one powerful way or method to develop feeling of harmony or mutual respect. Then fourth, the meeting with head of different institutions, such as Assisi meeting. That also very powerful, I think very good, particularly for the eyes of millions of ordinary people or the leaders of different institutions come together and exchange few nice words. Isn't that also very, I think, very powerful message. Then these four are, you see, my own sort of ideas. And recently, I visited South Africa. And there, of course, one of my old friend, Bishop Tutu. When I met, I discussed about these 4 points. Then he made one suggestion. There should be 1/5. That is more cooperation among the different religious traditions. Then I promised him, now on, I will point in 5 points. So the 5th, cooperation. Say something happened, disaster, nature disaster or something. Irrespective of what religious tradition, what religious background, go together, work together. And about environment, come out, speak out. And also the unfortunate people or patient, such as AIDS patient, and poor people, come together, work together. I think that 5th also, I think very good. Do you think this is nice? So in any case, I promised to him, I will speak now. I will make 5 points. So already, you see, some of these practice already is happening or carrying. So still, I think in grassroots level, I think each individual, I think it is very important, to develop mutual respect, mutual understanding one another. Now, so then I would like to say something, another point I feel very important. That is, whether we accept religion or not, it is individual right. Once we accept one particular tradition, one certain tradition, then we must follow, we must implement. That's very essential. It is not sufficient merely claim, I am Christian, I am Buddhist, without practice. So, or Buddhist or Christian, a certain moment come to cathedral or temple or something, and a few minutes meditation or prayer. At that moment, some kind of feeling, some kind of experience. And outside the church or the temple, nothing there. That's not a real practitioner. The religious practice must carry it out whole your daily life, throughout your daily life. Particularly when you're facing, some sort of problem. Say, when you meet someone and discuss and eventually argument or reach argument and lose temper. About such things happen, about to happen. Then you must remind, I am Christian practitioner. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I should not lose temper. Similarly, I am a follower of Buddha. I should not lose my temper. And about attachment. You want something without contentment. Then at that moment, you should have the mindfulness or remind, I am a follower of Jesus Christ or Buddha or something like that. That is the way of a practice. If you do that, then day by day, month by month, eventually you will gain some kind of deeper value. So that is, I feel, very, very important. I myself also, just like a simple Buddhist monk or follower of Buddha. And 24 hours, always checking myself. Even in my dream, I'm checking to myself whether I'm following Buddha's message or not. In my dream, which is something about to happen, something fighting or something, I immediately remember, I'm a monk. I should not indulge. This usually happens. Sometimes not. That is the way of a practice. Once you, through that way, once you gain some deeper experience here, through your religious practice, to such person, it is much easier to realize the value of other tradition also. So that's very important. Then another thing, then to those people who have no interest about religious tradition, then all right, as I mentioned earlier, all right. But then you must, I think you must realize, you must know, you should know that. You should know the value of human compassion or human, spirit of forgiveness, these things. I think it is very important to make distinction. Religious faith and basic human good quality. These two things are separate. Perhaps I think at least from the Buddhist viewpoint, in general speaking, we can say the religious faith come later. At the time of birth, I think, generally speaking, we are free from any religious faith, any ideology. Or maybe parent, maybe they use some other religious ceremony or something. But the child himself or herself, no feeling about faith, nothing. But human compassion, human affection, even at that time, very much alive there. The child, from the child's side towards mother or someone who are taking care, towards that very closeness feeling, affection there. The mother or someone else who taking care about the child, their side also, very much also the affection there. Without that baby cannot survive. So, time of birth, as far as basic human good qualities, such as human affection is concerned, very much alive there. Without that, we can't survive. And then look, time of our birth and time of our children's, age. We are very much relying on others' affection. When we sick, again, we are relying on others' affection. When we get old, again, we are very much, need or cherishing the other's affection. Between there, we feel, oh, I'm independent. I can survive myself. So I think that sort of delusion. Then you forget to show sense of concern to others also. Since you do not need others' affection. You feel, I think some kind of blindness. I feel. Due to the short-sightedness, or I think some kind of illusion. Sometimes you feel like that. So that's, I think, wrong. So therefore, whole life, right from the beginning, time of birth, even before time of concept there, the human affection very much involved. So therefore, right from the beginning up to death, human affection is very much involved. than today's world. I often, you see, telling people, and also I feel, I think the concept of we and they, I think already outdated. Development of your neighbor is your own development. Progress, prosperity of your neighbor eventually affect on you. Disaster in your neighbor eventually affect on you. So therefore, the whole world, I think, become like one's own, is a part of one's own body. So it's a hit other nation, may call so-called enemy, but hitting or destruction on them is reality destruction of your own part of body. Of course, hand and leg different, but it is wrong. Some pain here, or some, you see, some worm moving here, hit on it, foolish, because this is your own leg. Similarly, they forget about interest of others. Suppose, you see, thinking oneself more superior, more important. But that's foolish. If others suffer, how can you, single person, survive? Whole village or whole country or whole community say, the flood comes. How can you survive? So that's the situation now today. Modern economy, national boundaries, nothing. And ecology problem, such as the ozone layers depletions. One or two individual nations, cannot solve. No matter how powerful it is, it cannot solve. We have to work together. So that's today's reality. So therefore, even the practical level, the sense of caring other is something very, very relevant. So now, even, you see, without religious faith, there is no point to neglect about these good human qualities, human good qualities. The reason I stress this so much is often you see people, when people no particular interest towards religion, they also neglect about these basic human good qualities. That's, I think, wrong. So this another level of spirituality. Without faith, without religion, some kind of inner quality, some kind of, you see, faith or some kind of discipline, that's important. So that's about my talk. I really appreciate, you see, to have this opportunity. So, you see, the conclusion, you see, let us to be good human being, nice human being. Good and nice means warm-hearted. If we have some warmth here, not only benefit others, but also you yourself also get immense benefit. So the compassion, or sense of caring, bring us inner strength, inner peace, inner tranquility. That also bring more friend, more smile. Through that way, it act more happy life. It can contribute more as a successful life, happier life. Thank you very much. Then at the few questions? Time sufficient? Yes, three questions. Okay.
owing to shortage of time, His Holiness will answer 3 questions. The first question says, how can we help you?
What is the meaning? Help to Tibet. Then, generally speaking, although I think in this country, the awareness about Tibetan faith, I think since growing, and also I think quite well known, and a lot of people showing sympathy and concern. Still, I think you see the need to, educate about the current sort of true situation. Then, in many places, we already have the support group or the Friends of Tibet. Many places there, so you can join with them and carry various different kind of activities. And then also,
Then supporters can write to their own members of parliament from their own constituency.
That also one way. In the parliament, already is the parliamentarian group for Tibet already is there. So you see, you can support, you can express your views. So that's, I think, practical way to help.
Please explain the word sentient beings. The word sentient beings.
Sentient being. I think as a conclusion of one of our conference with scientists, the conclusion is a being who can move. That is the definition of sentient being. So definitely there are experiences also there, feelings also there. So like tree, flower, there is life. Some kind of, I don't know, experience or some kind of thing there, but cannot move from one place to other place. The tiny being like amoeba, right? Amoeba. You see, they can move. So at that conference, finally we concluded, all those, you see, even tiny thing can move. That we call sentient being. Then, of course, from the Buddhist viewpoint, there is formless sentient being also there, without physical form. And physical also is a different kind of physical. Some are more subtle physical, some are more grosser physicals. So I think from the Buddhist viewpoint, perhaps I think those beings who have the power of cognitive power and feeling experience, that perhaps I think the definition of sentient being.
When you reach final enlightenment, what will become of the Dalai Lama and its traditions?
I don't know. I'm just a beginner. As I mentioned earlier, it's just a simple... So I think several times, if not several eons, I think it will take in order to reach final enlightenment. So answer for this question is not hurry. Come later. Thank you very much.
Your Holiness, please forgive my bad Tibetan. You are a wonderful person. You touch our hearts, you touch our minds, and I'm sure for all of us you will have touched our lives. There is a peace and a warmth and a love that radiates from you, and I think all of us can feel it and share in it. We know that we've just listened to one of the most amazing people of our time, and we've just heard from a person who will be part of the history of this era. We are honoured and privileged and inspired. We thank you so much for taking the time to come so far to talk with us, to spread your incredibly powerful and your incredibly lovely message. Even though your own country has been invaded and your religious structures destroyed, you talk to us all of peace, kindness, religious tolerance, and conciliation. If you can teach and indeed live that message under such provocation, maybe it is possible for us all. In a world where national and religious struggles have taken a big part of the centre stage, I hope that that is so. Thank you to the Cathedral for the use of their building. I'm pleased to see the Cathedral used as a centre for community events. I apologise for the people who are in the square who cannot fit into this venue. We don't yet have a venue big enough in the city to actually house all the people who want to hear you, and so we are actually building the entertainment centre for your next visit. Thank you also to the organising group who I know have worked very hard to make this visit possible for us all. Your Holiness, thank you for what you do. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful smile which fills all of the room and all of the space around you. Thank you especially for what you are. Thank you for the wisdom that you have shared with us. All of us are so much richer for it. Maybe as a celebration of kindness, each of us might ensure we apply it to someone we know and to someone we don't yet know. Maybe we can feel as well that if the people of Tibet, a nation currently without its own country, can influence world opinion so positively, then we as New Zealanders, in a country which has enjoyed the luxury of peace for many years, can collectively feel strong and powerful in influencing world opinion and actions in a really positive way, even on the really big issues. We wish you well in your incredible journey, and from all of us, a very, very huge thank you, or to try to say it in Tibetan, Tukshi Dala.